It is a day to light fireworks, and to celebrate the founding of our nation, it is time to wave our flag unapologetically and appreciate the freedoms and opportunity this country has blessed us with. But unfortunately, it appears that American pride is on the decline. A recent Gallup poll found just 39% of adults took extreme pride in our country. That is down 4 points from 43% 2 years ago. But this trend is anything but new. Look at the chart. Pride in our nation has been on the decline for the last 20 years. And there's an interesting distinction when you look among political parties. Gallup found that 60% of Republicans say they were extremely proud, while just 29% of Democrats did. And the Wall Street Journal released an American Pride poll of their own earlier this year, with just 38% of Americans saying that patriotism is very important to them. In 1998, that figure stood at 70%. But American pride isn't the only traditional value that's heading out the door these days. That same poll found that 39% of Americans think religion is very important. Now, that is down from 62% also from 1998. And now, for the first time, a stunning new Fox News poll shows that a majority of Americans believe the country's best days are behind us. And a Gallup poll found that nearly 70% of Americans no longer have confidence in our national government. Let's start there. Joe Concha, right to the middle, there in the hot seat. What do you think?
Yes. One other part about this poll that really stands out to me. What is the best country to live in the world? Is the U.S. the best country to live in the world? So they asked American voters about this. You go back just 5 years, 83% said the U.S., #1, best country to live in. You go to this year, it's down 20 points. So we're not talking about the 1950s when everything was really great. We're talking just 8 years ago, and we're seeing such a precipitous drop. And I think, Molly and ladies, the reason why is we see so many institutions now being weaponized, whether that's we saw it during COVID. We saw it with the Department of Justice, the FBI. We see police being demonized. A lot of it goes on in the media. We see a border that's open right now, essentially, where 7 million people have come into this country since Joe Biden took office. As a parent, I see ACT test scores at a 30-year low. And I say, we can do better. We must do better. So these poll numbers are understandable, given the current state of the country when we talk about education, inflation, crime. We see it in Philadelphia and Baltimore, these horrible shootings, and the Democratic leaders there are saying this is the new normal, just accept it. No, we shouldn't accept it, and that's why we're seeing this precipitous drop, Molly.
Yeah, you know, there's an enormous amount of polarization in our politics. Here we are heading into an election year, unlikely to improve heading into an election year where people are trying to kind of divide and talk back and forth. But Tammy, your thoughts on these numbers and how much we've seen the shift so dramatic over these recent years?
Yeah, I think in part it is about communication. It's about media. It's the internet. It's that we might have a feeling about what our family is feeling, what our neighbors are thinking. But now we see everybody, right, who's got vocal cords online and, you know, talking about what it is they think, and that's fine. But it gives you a false idea, a false sense of the nature of what's happening in the country. That whether if you hear people, you think it might be the majority, when in fact it really isn't. And of course with young people online and with social media. But I would concur with Joe, is that this is, I think it's not at all about people actually having a deep change of heart about the country. It's about reacting to the nature of what's going on inside the country. And we have to remember, unlike other countries in the world, we're still a baby country. We are really the first country that is united and together, not because of geography or because of language or because of 2,000 years of history. It's because we've come here and we've decided we're a country, and it's about the ideas of this nation. So when we see those ideas being kind of strangled, it worries us. But the founders anticipated this, and that's why we have elections every 2 years, and that we can make a difference. And that's why it can shift from 8 years ago, and we kind of are worried about the future. Well, we don't have to worry about the future, because this remains the best country in the world, which allows, and we should expect this up and down, but then we have to act because we're the sovereign. Today is a reminder of that, and we can do it. We'll do it again in a year and a half. And we've just got to stick with it this time.
Yeah, you know, when Gallup first asked this question, January of 2001, 55% of U.S. adults were extremely proud to be American. Then after 9/11, what a change. Extreme pride soared, ranging from 65 to 70%, that lasting from 2002 to 2004. And Kara, Tammy just raised that interesting comment about the internet and social media, and your thoughts on that, because that's kind of a world that you're an expert at.
Exactly, and I think I want to bring into the conversation specific digital platforms, and there's one in particular, TikTok, that 67% of American teenagers are on TikTok.
Wow.
They use it in some capacity. 16% use it almost constantly, in their words, according to a 2022 Pew survey. So this is a massive problem, especially when it is effectively beholden to the Chinese Communist Party through its parent company headquartered in Beijing called ByteDance. So what information that our children, the next generation of citizens, are imbibing on this platform truly matters. And what I can tell you, due to all of the, frankly, enterprising journalists who sign up as 13 and 14-year-olds to do experiments, they're getting pushed self-harm content, suicidal content, gender dysphoria, all kinds of things. And when we think about patriotism and love for country, I can tell you they're not seeing love for the United States of America all over this platform. There are pro-Chinese Communist Party narratives that have been pushed on this platform. We know that through leaked audio and documents internal to TikTok. So this is a massive problem, and it's going to matter in the next 10 years when this next generation of citizen, frankly, grows up.
Kara brings up an interesting comment. I want to bring the doctor in. There is an age divide here on this as well, where older Americans say they're extremely proud to be American, some 50%, 40% of those aged 35 to 54, and then it drops down 18% of 18 to 34-year-olds.
Yeah, first I want to say, as a daughter of immigrant parents to this country, my parents immigrated here to New York, to Ellis Island 50 years ago. So not only am I proud to be an American, but I am grateful as well. But just looking at the big picture, look where we are right now as a nation. Inflation, for example, we're at 4%. 3 years ago in 2020, we were just at 1%. So even though it's improved, it's still very high. Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. The cost of living is not in alignment with our wages. On top of that, look what's happened with the pandemic, the shutdowns, the mandates, the lockdowns. We see an increase in anxiety and depression and PTSD. And then crime, to your point, Joe, crime is just incessant, rampant, no control with that. Drug overdoses, people dying, losing their lives. So we see all of this combined together. It's the culmination of why we see this decrease, especially in the younger population who were isolated, who were most impacted by the lockdowns and the shutdowns. They were the ones that needed to be out. They were the ones that were at least risk of the pandemic, but yet they were hurt the most. So, but I think if you take a step back also and look, and see that this patriotism in our country, these pollings will change based on who's in the White House, who's our president, what is the health of the economy, what is the health of our nation, exactly, and can we recover? We're a resilient nation. We've recovered, from the pandemic that took the lives of millions of people globally, and also 9/11 that caused a lot of PTSD and again anxiety and depression. So we're a resilient nation with a strong, fervent beliefs and shared values, and I think today's a day to celebrate that unity.
Yeah.
So many shared values.
girl.
Oh yes, Joe.
I
Joe's
just
got
have
his
a
hand
question
up.
for the doctor. What nationality is Nejwat?
It's Jordanian, Middle Eastern. So my mom and dad came over, 50 years ago from Salt, from Amman, Jordan, on the ship here to Ellis Island legally. And they came with nothing, and they worked hard. They instilled in us the values of God, family, education. And they showed us that you can achieve the American dream if you just put your mind and heart to it.
So thank God
Yes.
for their adventurism and their commitment.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Great to be here with you guys.
I have the Ellis Island tie too.
Yes.
I'm sure many
Oh.
Americans do as well. Ah.